I got these earrings very low priced at this store. They're only a couple bucks. Came out to, with the whole set, it came out to only a couple bucks per pair. And plus they're hypoallergenic, can't beat that. I try to get hypoallergenic hooks whenever I do, but you know, sometimes when I get them multiple places, I don't always know for sure if they're the materials I want. Anyway, this is great. You got black gunmetal, silver, gold, dull silver, antique copper, and more gold. It's like all different colors, patterns. But these, you know, I didn't make these, but what do? You get them, and you could do the same thing if you go to the thrift store and you buy some used older jewelry, or if you have some used older jewelry, or you get some from your grandparents or great-grandparents, and you upcycle them, you change them, you add, you embellish, you modify them, and they become handmade. But you only have to do half the work or even less of making something from scratch. The hooks are already there for you. Now older jewelry you might have to put new hooks on, because you never know. This woman would pay me often to put new hooks on all her old jewelry because the old hooks would irritate her ears. But in this case, I'm going to take a couple of these, and I think I'm going to take these guys. And look, they even have the rubber backings on them. This is great. You get everything already made for you. Those are nice long ear wire, what they call fish hooks. But instead of catching fish, you're catching customers. Or you're catching friends with gifts. Ha ha ha! Great way to make friends is to be like, hello, hello, random stranger. And you put these earrings out on a little pole, and you dangle them over their face. Like maybe go to a nice restaurant and come up to a nice table with some attractive looking people you'd like to be friends with, and say hello, people, and just dangle the pole over their bistro table and say, these could be yours if you want to be my friend. And they'll just like, you'll find them like reaching up to try to grab the earrings like a little cat, like when you shake a little string in front of it. Like humans respond like that. I mean, humans are kind of like cats without triangular ears and cute little triangular noses. So that's how you make friends. It's pretty much how I've made a lot of my friends over the years, is, you know, dangling earrings over their heads. And sometimes the management will complain if you try to go into a nice restaurant and pull that stunt, but then you start shaking the earrings in front of the management, and then they start losing their mind and batting at them like they're kittens. And, you know, sometimes the managers become your friends too. Just showing you guys. So these have these cool holes in them. So what am I going to do? Of course, I'm going to find some beads to dangle in there, because that's the easiest thing to do. These even have like little teeny tiny, like they were made for Matt to take over them. Well, camera's like, I'm going to focus. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. It's like, I'm going to focus. No, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. This camera is like so neurotic. In any case, yeah, so you see the little hole right there? That is like made for Matt to put a little dangly piece. And these are really tiny, so I have to put teeny tiny dangly pieces. Luckily, I just came into some teeny tiny little beads, and let's have some fun. Now you could go girly like this, or you could go elegant like this. Both are 4mm mother of pearl beads. The pink are just pink dyed, and these are natural. I think I'm going to go with the little bit more elegant. And these 6mm flattened imperial jasper dyed purple, which these stones are super pretty. If I can show you. Oh yeah. Camera is kind of showing you. Kind of being a little bit coy. Okay, anyway. Now here's another thing. I happen to be in the wrong city without my supplies, so I managed to pick up some of these supplies so I can make you guys a video. But I went to the store and I got 16 gauge wire, way too thick for this. And I got 26 gauge wire, way too thin. I should have gotten 20, totally didn't think about it. So do I have any pieces of 20 laying around here from my other projects? And I say, ooh, I actually do. Ha ha, yeah. Save your scraps, people. This is just enough to get by for this video. So, here we go. 20 gauge. 22 would work too. Some of these actually don't even fit on the 20 gauge. These teeny tiny little ones. Let's see. Is this one? Yep, that's gonna fit. We got that on there. Let's get ourselves a purple one on there, and one more of the Tinantana 4mm. Oh, it just fits, baby. Oh yeah. Oh, let's do that. Okay, get round nose pliers. It's really easy. I've been doing this forever. Super fun. But Let's move these out of the way so they don't distract you. Move. All right, so, whoa, sorry, a little carried away there. Get yourself about half an inch, 1 centimeter, a little bit less, and give yourself a right angle. Boom. And then grab the pliers, around those pliers, about 1/3 of the way up the pliers, and roll. And then reposition when your wrist feels like it's too tight, and roll. You don't want to hurt your wrist. And you get this very nice little, cute little hook. It's just positioned just right. Now you push the beads up against it. Push the beads up tight, and make another right angle going sideways to match the other one. See that? You can overshoot it a little bit too, a little bit more bent. And then again, about 1/3 of the way up the pliers, you just carefully, right there, roll. This time we're rolling the other way. And now you can grab the wire and pull it around the rest of the way to make your loop. And then if you're happy that both loops are about the same size and they're positioned about the same, then this is the part where you want to have a little bit of wire left over. This is like, how much do we have there? We have a lot. So it's a few inches over there. And come on, no, the camera doesn't want to focus. Okay, so now you wrap these around, and you wrap them around. You just keep wrapping them around diagonal, and then go in the crevice behind, wrap around diagonal, go in the crevice behind, wrap around diagonal, go behind the loop, and then come around the loop like this. And bam, look how pretty. Look how pretty. Look how pretty that looks. And then you just cut this. You get in there real tight, real tight. Just cut it real tight. Just when it, bam. And just get in there. Little cut, little cut. Look at that. It's hanging off by a thread. Bam, it's gone. It's gone. Now you take your, now you just drop your stuff all over the floor. You gotta pick it up. And then you get your flat nose pliers, and you come in there and you just tuck that little bit that's left. You just tuck it like this. You just boop, all tucked. And you touch it, make sure it's not scratching. If you feel the slightest bit of scratch, you pinch it a little more, make sure it's tucked. If it's sticking out too much, you didn't cut it far enough, you might need to cut even 1/2 millimeter more just to get it tucked. Tucking is really important. Once you get it down, you'll never think about it again. But it takes some practice in the beginning. And that just means you got to make a lot of pieces, and you got to force yourself to tuck each one just right. You're going to have some you're going to be a little frustrated with. And you're going to, cut too little, too much. Wire's going to be sticking out. You're going to pull it off, stick it back, try to get it. And you're going to scratch it and tear it up, and it's going to look awful. And you're going to get mad. You're going to throw the whole piece at the wall. And then you're going to go watch some old reruns of Geraldo and, just take out your frustration yelling at the television. That's all part of the process. You just got to do it. But 20 or 30 or 40 pieces later, suddenly you're like, I can do it now. I know how to tuck. You're like better than a somersault artist. Like, I can tuck and roll. Wow, this camera is like Blurry Tuesday. Should be a U2 song. Blurry, blurry Tuesday. Even though this is what is this today? It's a Wednesday. Blurry, blurry Wednesday. So let's see how we doing here. How we doing here? How are we doing here? Ooh, that's almost too long. Maybe I should have only taken 2 beads. That's okay, it can hang over a little bit. I would normally use a jump ring to attach it, but this time I'm going to find one of these sides opens. The other side does not. The side where we, which side was it? I think it's this side. Nope, that's the side where we went all the way around. This is the side that opens. Okay, so where's the opening? Is it opening? Did I make it so tight it won't open? There it is. There's the opening. Okay. Man, camera, you're like horrible today. Okay, show everybody how I opened it, like a door. I opened it up like that. See? Get that? Now we want these pretty side. We want this side to face out, this pretty side. So let's close it again. Close it up. Close it up. Now, we're going to have to turn this because we want the pretty side to face out. So we have to turn it whichever way you need to. In this case, it's quarter turn this way. And now I can pull this up. And when we put it on here, we want to make sure the pretty side is facing out. That's not the pretty side. The pretty side is right here. So come around like this. Get that baby right in there. Ooh, he almost didn't fit, but he did. Or she. I don't even know. I didn't even ask. Okay. Ready? And you get that, and you get that little right there. And you just get that tucked right in there. Boom. And it's pretty. Now, look at that earring now. Look at that earring. It's a little bit dangly. It's a little bit dangly, but it kind of hangs, kind of just sits right in there. It doesn't dangle too much, which could be good, or, you know, it's up to you. If I made it a little bit smaller with one bead maybe or two, it probably would have shook around a little more in there. But I kind of like it like this. And also, if you want to go even further overboard, you can hang some chain down there and totally overlap. And that chain will swing, and that will start to make some movement if you like movement in your earrings. So anyway, fun ideas. Fun ideas. Upscale some very inexpensive jewelry that you get from an inexpensive store. We're not going to make fun of whatever store it was, but you know, might have some ideas what store it came from. In this case, it actually was not the store you might be thinking it was. It was a small little drugstore. But fun times. Let's do some more of these. And there's several things I could have done here. I could have had a chain with more beads, and then a chain and more beads. But I decided to just go with one jump ring with 3 different links of chain, different lengths, to make it kind of like a little tassel. So this is 5 links, 7 links, 9 links. Yes, I counted them carefully, and I tried several different versions until I was happy with it. So it's a little tedious, but got these cute little earrings now. Way more decorated and different, and all kinds of more stuff going on than originally they had. These look a little bit gold, but they're actually copper. Somewhat darkened copper, a little bit darker than average. So you could probably go with bright copper or antique copper, and both would probably blend okay. This is rutilated agate, looks like a fish egg, and sesame jasper. It's kind of like a marbled red and peach. 6mm, 4mm. And let's make them work. This time I'm just going to do the simplest way to string 2 beads on a wire, because I want to show off the stones, the beads, far more, and not the wiring. So same thing, we're going to do about 1/3 of an inch hard right angle, and then roll it backwards. Roll it until you get a loop. Okay, make sure your loop is straight. Press the beads tight against that loop. And this time, and just go to the other side and do the same thing. Make a right angle. And you don't need all this extra wire because we're not going to wrap. We're just going to cut it with about the same amount we anticipate we'll need for the loop. And this only works if you have strong metal. 20 gauge is strong enough for this. When 20 gauge is wrapped into tight loops, it holds pretty firm. If you had 22 gauge or definitely a thinner gauge, you would want to do more wrapping because that loop by itself wouldn't hold. So in any case, now we just roll it and roll it and roll it. I didn't cut off quite enough, so I had to make that one a little tighter than this one. You can see my top loop is a tiny bit smaller, but it's close enough that these beads are so tiny, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to even be paying attention to the loops. But after a lot of practice, you get really good at making loops the exact same size. So that one I was just more trying to pay attention to the camera, making sure I was in view. In any case, I don't know if these have a big enough hole right here that I could just get it through the same hole that the earring hook is coming through. Probably not. So I might need a teeny tiny little jump ring there, which if that doesn't work, I might need to come across 2 jump rings from these 2 side holes, and then that would be kind of a tricky feat. But always experimenting, like never get frustrated and never give up. There's always a way. If you keep wiggling and trying and brainstorming, you will always come up with something that's going to work for you. Luckily, I found this teeny tiny jump ring that just barely fit right in there. But I was prepared to get 2 larger jump rings and come from these side holes and have 2 of them so it would balance in the middle still. So always a way. I didn't even know I had these teeny tiny jump rings. I just found them luckily by digging around. All right,